my hands have to be doing something with my phone.
That's right.
And yeah, I can say I'm doing business because I am oftentimes checking and responding emails, but I'm also checking Instagram and checking Facebook and checking Pinterest and checking TikTok.
A lot of FOMO.
Is that what it is?
Fear of missing out. Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I mean,
I'm addicted to Yahoo News of everything in the world, and it's just like I got to be on Yahoo News or my local news channel and just seeing kind of what's going on because there's this fear of missing out.
Missing out of what? On Yahoo News?
Nothing.
Of all things.
So the big question is this. How are leaders like you that recognize people and technology are the backbone of the company they're building continue to make progress when they have no clear idea on how to develop individuals and utilize technology in a way that helps them remain profitable? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is Tom and Michaela, and welcome to the Heart and Hustle Podcast.
Hi.
We're on. Everybody, welcome back to the podcast for the third, maybe fourth consecutive week here.
Woohoo. We're on a roll.
Woohoo. You know, it's been odd over the past several weeks. With inside of Soaring Group and with inside of Heart and Hustle, we have ran. I started to run ads again just for the fun of it to kind of get my practitionership, I guess, back on that level for our own company. As you know, we have a media division, and we do, I think, quite a bit of work. And we have been running a lot of Google ads, a lot of Facebook ads, a lot of some LinkedIn ads here and there, and kind of just helping businesses out with their creative. And the goal is to obviously generate awareness, to generate, shock and awe sometimes on promoting products and services for companies or for individuals, which help them grow their company. And kind of have these hooks, I guess, these eye-catching things to ensure that the people that are consuming this content take notice of that content and to generate a purpose, generate enough context so that they understand what is going on and understand that what it is, the product and services that is being sold and how to kind of market that services into others. Mm-hmm. But there's this whole other side of things. And I kind of want to talk about that tonight, and not so much about the media side of the company or what we're doing, but kind of what happens on the other side. And I'm not going to say with individuals or people consuming that content, but sometimes with families that kind of see that content and kind of what happens with inside there. Mm-hmm. Obviously we have, I don't know, a small football team of kids between the two of us. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot of kids, and most of them are grown out of the house, but we still have some younger ones out there, and we see them glued to their devices all the time.
Glued. Like it is an addiction.
It's
dangerous.
It is an addiction.
I'm a little concerned about it.
It is.
I mean, I will be flat honest. Like I'm concerned about it for myself because I'm on my phone all the time. It's like almost a nervous habit anymore because if I have half a second of downtime, I am checking email. I am on Instagram. I am on it's my hands have to be doing something with my phone.
That's right.
And yeah, I can say I'm doing business because I am oftentimes checking and responding emails, but I'm also checking Instagram and checking Facebook and checking Pinterest and checking TikTok.
A lot of FOMO.
Is that what it is?
Fear of missing out. Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I'm
addicted to Yahoo News of everything in the world, and it's just like I got to be on Yahoo News or my local news channel and just seeing kind of what's going on because there's this fear of missing out.
Missing out of what? On Yahoo News?
Nothing.
Of all things.
Although Adam Sandler did express why or what it felt like to kiss Jennifer Aniston the other day on Yahoo News, so I did address that.
Cannot miss that entertainment. No, we can't.
But us as marketers, the things that we want to do is capture or captivate people and kind of get their attention.
Well, and that can be challenging in and of itself because there is so much out there. There are so many people doing the exact same things. So how do you stand out? And I know you talk about all the time content.
It's like you got to keep pushing.
Like it's speed of getting posts out there. It's the number of posts. It's just get it out there, get it out there, get it out there, get it out there.
And I say that for the individuals that want to focus on quality, like they'll spend, 2 months trying to get one post out there. That's not the case. It's like,
That would be me.
yeah, it's a speed of, but I don't want to go there. That's something different. This is about the other side. And we, or myself and you and us, for the kids that we have and for the things that we see, we're inundated with this content all the time. So I kind of want to take that perspective and kind of put the framework there and saying, listen, I want to talk about being the recipient of this and the impact that has on me personally and you personally, and maybe the impact that we think it has on our kids personally, and kind of walk that and see what that looks like.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Because I think it's a bad deal. And as much as obviously we do it as an organization to generate revenue, drive business, make money, what are the ramifications of that to the kids? Now, we don't speak to children by any
we don't
means.
market to kids, but this
It's the same thing.
applies.
It's the same thing. It's the
Yes.
same thing. And when kids are, and we had this conversation today with our daughter, and it's tough because when you and I, well, I can't say this 100%, but I can say this with like a 70% time, that when you and I have a discussion about things, we're looking at each other, we're having a discussion about something, we're talking about something, we're talking through something. And over the past several years, or even 10 years, for example, of not our lives, but lives that we have lived, you're having a conversation with somebody, or I may be having a conversation with somebody, but you kind of have a side chat going on here on your mobile device. And it may be a text message to somebody else. It could be a text message to your grandma. It could be something, but it's no longer focusing on the person which is in the room with you. Mm-hmm. It's no longer having a true conversation with somebody and actually looking at them. It ends up being a conversation where yet you're distracted.
Mm-hmm. I think, and that is, I mean, it happens with us a lot still. And we can blame it on business, and
we
can
make
blame
excuses.
It on,
it's
totally
business.
make
It's work.
excuses.
Oh, Jason's texting me, or I got a message from a client, or this is happening. I mean, we went for a walk tonight and just to spend some quality time with each other. And I had a client texting me again, about setting up a meeting tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the morning at, within our community here. And it just, that disrupts our time.
Mm-hmm. And that's a constant. That's a constant in our lives. I mean, that is going on for us 24/7.
But what is the need? Like,
there isn't a need, but we let it go. We excuse it. We allow it to happen. We don't put we don't put good boundaries in place where we protect our time, we protect our mental and emotional health. We just don't do it. And to bring this back to kind of what we're talking about, how it's affecting people, how it's affecting kids, like our kids are growing up with this. Kids are getting cell phones at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And they are completely growing up with this, and they know no other thing.
Yeah.
So for them to be on 5 different platforms, having 5 to 10 different conversations, and yet trying to talk to your parent or trying to do schoolwork, that's just life. That's normal. But then we turn around and we wonder why kids can't focus in school. They're dealing with anxiety. They're dealing with depression. They don't know what the heck they're doing or where they're going. They don't know what side is up. Mm-hmm. Because there is all this stuff coming at them constantly.
But if they don't have their cell phone, if they don't have their device, if they don't have their watch, if they're not connected, then they're obviously ousted inside their school. Yeah. Their friends think they're losers. Their friends think that they're not part of the group. They're not part of the clique. That drives them into a deeper depression, and that then causes more issues.
And it totally pins kids against parents, because parents are like, okay, boundaries. Let's talk about what reality is. That's and they're like, this is my reality. What are you talking about, crazy parent? Like it's this whole messed up paradigm that we're in, that how do we deal with this as employers? Because it's happening all the time in our workplace too.
Well,
one of my number one complaints with my clients is, how do I keep my people off social media and keep them focused
there
on
you
their
go
work?
again, my people.
I'm just
I
telling
know,
you
I
what
know,
piece.
I know.
Stop. Anyway,
I'm stopping.
it's a constant conversation. Like, how do I keep people off their phones? How do I keep them focused on what we're supposed to be doing here, our work? So it's a constant conversation among kids, among employers, among parents, among...
Well, I know. And you think about it, and we're dealing with it. Obviously, we're not going to talk about it here on this medium, but you know, a 14-year-old girl's drama is just as much intense drama for a 14-year-old girl as it is for a, 35 or 45-year-old woman or a 42-year-old man.
Oh, yeah.
It's drama. So you have this device that's lighting up 24/7, and there's stuff that's going on there. And there's, 71 messages in the past hour amongst co-workers or amongst other people that you may know, or friends or circles, that are, I don't want to say meaningless. That's not the right word. But if you'd read through them, sometimes I think they're meaningless, but they may be very important to the person at which is receiving those messages. Mm-hmm. But sometimes there's just no really context to them. Like, if you would read them, there's really nothing there. But that 71 messages of pure disruption for the past hour over nothing has now taken advantage, or just basically been a bloodsucker, if you would, to your job at hand, to what you have to get done.
Right.
And it becomes just like that cost of what employers have to go through to deal with that. And how do they deal with that?
Well,
So
yeah, and it's not employers dealing with it. It's parents dealing with it. But I'm also finding that a lot of parents are oblivious to what's going on in their child's cell phones. And
our kids
that's
are
scary.
screwed. I mean, our kids
That they
are just
and
effed up.
they think we are the most horrible parents, the strictest parents on the face of the earth, because
That's a quote, by the way.
we know
but
what's going
we'll just
on.
leave it there.
Yeah, we know what's going on, and we pay attention because we work with so many organizations and so many
I think
law enforcement
it
that there is a huge issue with pornography and pictures being sent that people don't have consent for.
I've dealt with law enforcement,
sex trafficking,
There
and
is.
all kinds of stuff.
I've dealt with law enforcement, and they're dealing, not now, obviously this was maybe a few months ago, but they're dealing with a 17-year-old boy that received a picture of somehow a 16-year-old girl, that it wasn't scandalous or anything else, but it was probably a little bit too much, and he's being picked up on charges of child pornography. And there was nothing. I shouldn't say that.
Don't even get me started there.
I won't go there, but it was probably a 17-year-old girl or a 16-year-old girl in her like sports bra, jogging or something, and he received that picture, and therefore he is the one that received that content, and now he's being picked up.
Well, and again, like, I'm totally switching subject on you because we're just going into the depths of how far and deep and wide this goes. But let's talk about that scandalous picture. What is scandalous anymore? Because if you look at TikTok and you look at a normal person's feed, I mean, there are 45-year-old women dressing in their closet in their bra and underwear, telling you how to dress for your age, and that is normal.
Well,
you see constant pictures of people either nude or in their bra and underwear or anything like that, and it's normal. It is completely normal. And we're trying to raise our children to say, yeah, that's not probably normal. We don't want to send pictures of that caliber to anybody because this is what could happen.
Right.
But it is constantly, it's on our TV, it's in our news feed, it's in our social media, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And
so what are parents to do?
And I was talking to you this weekend, and I actually showed our daughter this, and there was a Yahoo News article, and when Jason and I were in Tampa last weekend, and we're dealing with a client doing some onboarding stuff. I jumped out to Yahoo News, and it was on my first page of my feed,
because he was distracted.
I love Yahoo News, and it was the first link, and it was a picture of a link of a model undergoes like full frontal breast exam on Yahoo News. And this was completely like just medical, breast awareness type thing and everything else. But the reality is the video that was done and was full frontal of a breast exam of a grown woman. And
on national TV.
Yeah.
National news.
And at the end of the day, I mean, it's medical. It's a full breast exam. It's like, it's in my world, like no big deal. That stuff is important. But the reality is that got to the front page of Yahoo News. And not that it's a big deal, but 10-year-old boys can hit that link and see that. Well, they don't understand much more than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that's what I struggle with. I mean, that's what I have a really hard time with it. And right below that, of course, there's the Toms out there trying to run ads against that because that's getting a ton of hits, and you're trying to run ads against whatever company is helping promoting maybe like whatever, and they want to target the individuals that like that video or like that news, and you're going to help them with it.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. It's just difficult. It's like this is so normal for our kids today. And we're expected and should raise them in a way that they can be happy and healthy and successful and whole. And there's just all these things in the background that is coming against parents and employers. We haven't even dove into that, but it's just like, what are we to do with all of this? And like we are a media company. Like we sell media. So we're part of that game. But like we know it's not going away. It's not going away anytime soon. So we're utilizing it to the best of our abilities to help our clients grow. But then there's just this opposing force, and there's just this, I don't know, it's a struggle.
Yeah, there's no right way. I know what we're doing directly doesn't impact that, but we oftentimes sit around the table thinking about how can we cause the best distraction? How can we best get the eyeballs on the ads or the links or the content at which you want to see, knowingly that is going to distract them or make them look away from what they're currently doing. And what they're looking away from, maybe that one conversation that CEO has, that's our target market, with their child. And that's the other side of the coin where I kind of, not that I struggle with because I know I'm getting his or her attention, but I also feel equally as bad that, hey, that one CEO basically may have just avoided the conversation with his or her daughter or his or her son because I now captured his or her attention. And what was the impact of that ad? Now, great, I got a sale, but what was really cost of that? That's tough. That's what I think about. I probably shouldn't think about that, but I do.
You won't be able to sleep at
I mean, you do all the time. I mean, you see a TikTok there, but I mean, look at the ad you saw today. You saw a product from a gal that was being advertised, and you kind of liked it, and you're showing me, and I'm looking through it. And then in the meantime, I don't think our daughter was talking to us, but if she was speaking to us or speaking via whatever, we're kind of ignoring her for a second because we're looking at this ad and seeing if this thing is something that we may want to buy.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I think, though.
I don't know how to fix it either because it's not going away, and it's so much bigger than the two of us.
I told our daughter tonight, I said to her, if you're 14, she's 14 here in a couple of days.
She is. She's so excited about that. She keeps reminding us, like,
we're
going to forget.
I'm going to be 14 here in a couple of days. It's like, great.
Like, we're going to forget.
14's that hard age.
Countdown.
Like, you don't have your driver's permit yet, but you're not a teenager anymore. It's like you're in this, like, middle zone, and it's never really good to be there, but whatever. Yeah. But it's like, you know, we had that conversation with her, and I told her, I said, if you can figure out by the time you're 14 or 15 years old how to have a real conversation with somebody, a one-on-one conversation, and focus on that person, and when you're speaking to that person, not being distracted, not having your phone out there, not having your, you know, your watch or your text messaging, or not trying to communicate to somebody else, and just literally looking at that person and having a face-to-face, one-on-one conversation, that you are going to win the game when you are a young adult, because you're going to be in the far minority of individuals that can actually have those conversations and be able to focus on the people at which you're speaking with, or speaking to, or engaging with, and nobody else will, because everybody else can be highly distracted and not knowing how to communicate.
And we looked at each other and said, yeah, we should probably work on that.
Well, the thing is, we grew up like that, and we went into the other zone of it. And recognizing that now, I mean, I'm going to make a conscious effort to start doing that. And
I have seriously considered, like, and I probably won't do it because of what we do, but I would have no problem shutting down Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all of it.
You can do it. And I think what you do is you go back to a flip phone Monday through Friday.
Right. I know.
Or just a regular cell phone, and just say, you know what, if you want to call me, call me. And I think back in the 70s or 80s, you know, and I'm not sure, McKenna can find the audio feed, but when you called someone on their phone and you heard the busy signal from the telephone company, burr, burr, you know they're busy. And you call back like an hour later, and it's still busy. It's like, what the hell are they talking about for so long?
Get off the phone.
Get off the phone. I'm trying to
talk to you.
Yeah. And now we have like call waiting. So it's like call waiting. Now we're interrupting somebody. Now I'm getting a call on my phone, and it may be from, you know, whoever. And now I'm thinking, okay, now he's calling me. Jason's calling me. It's interrupting my wife calling me. Do
Meanwhile,
I take
you're
it?
texting somebody, and oh yeah, I got to send that email at the same time.
Absolutely. So I know
How many conversations can we have going on at once?
this week I went down to Tampa with Jason, and Jason and I went down to, you know, work with a new client down there. And I made a conscious effort when I was with Jason and talking with him or speaking with him or out to eat or whatever. I mean, I focused on him. I mean, I didn't pick up my phone. I didn't, you know, if you texted me, I didn't respond right away. I mean, I probably saw it come across my watch, it beep. I honestly didn't look at it. And it was just focus on Jason. And if he maybe stepped away for a minute, I grabbed my phone and responded or whatever. But having that one-on-one time is just super important. So it's like, I'm going to challenge my staff. You know, I hate my staff. I'm going to challenge everybody. And our wellness challenge, maybe our first challenge as we do this, might be just to have a real conversation and what that actually looks like. What is a real conversation anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, they're tough conversations. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think that's my second quarter resolution, if there is one. Just what that means. What does that mean?
Yeah. That will be interesting, because I mean, we've gone for years with, just because of the nature of what we do, like sometimes there are fires and there are emergencies, and you have to be able to get a hold of somebody.
We're 911. That happens.
And it's like we have kind of programmed people to
multitask.
Yeah. And that's a whole different direction than what we've been talking about the last few years.
Well,
but
I know several years ago, I would say multitask, have 3 monitors, do 3 things at once. And people in my industry, inside the IT industry, and they do this today, they'll have monitors 1, 2, and 3. They'll have 3 different clients on those monitors, and they may work an hour on each one, and that company will bill for an hour for each client. So they'll get 3 hours of productivity out of 1 hour of the employee.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think that's right. I don't think that's the right way, because now you're not really focused. Yeah, there's some things you can do. But when it comes down to working with human beings, I mean, it's just like, and we've all been at the recipient of, at least I have, with the Verizon chat lady, where it's like, okay, where'd she go? I'm talking about my account here. And she's out there helping 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people to meet her quota.
Yeah.
But now I've lost that engagement. So that's not right either. Bad customer service.
Well, it kind of reminds me of going back to that. I think we talked about it several episodes prior, but I read that book, Deep Work, and it really impacted
Oh, yeah. I remember
me.
the comment. I like to have some deep work. Remember that?
It really impacted me because it made me recognize how absolutely distracted I am,
Yeah.
and how that deep work
Yep.
is so important for us to be able to do quality work and the things that really matter to us. And right now we're just bouncing all over the place, dealing with one distraction after another. And how can we get to a place where we're focused on what matters most,
Yep.
and building our company and growing our company, and not being distracted by all the little things.
I don't know.
It's going to be a process.
We're still going to do what we do.
We have to do what we do, but we have to do it well.
That's
and we have
exactly
to do
right.
it responsibly, and we have to do it intentionally. So,
Anyhow, homework wise, McKenna. I'm looking at you, McKenna. I want you to hop on camera here for a couple minutes and let me know your feedback. You're a person of a younger generation. You've seen it. You've grown up with this. How have you struggled? How did you struggle in school with multiple people contacting you at multiple things? Were you able to have real relationships? And let us know, because I would love to know.
yeah.
Well, Tom, I'm glad you asked. Like you said, I am technically considered Gen Z, so I grew up when social media and smartphones really started taking off. So, like, I was about in middle school when, like, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, everything started to become, like, more prominent in society. But unlike what you said about having a bunch of people blowing up my phone when I was a kid and that, like, messing with me, it was actually kind of the opposite. I didn't have a lot of friends when social media started to really kick off. So it was hard for me because I was seeing everyone else, get more followers. Their phones always blowing up because of, like, Snapchat streaks and just, like, getting all of this attention. And I thought less of myself because I wasn't getting that same amount of attention. So I can definitely see how it's damaging in that aspect for especially, like, children, like, in middle school and, like, below, like, so I definitely get where you're coming from, and I would agree that it can be definitely very damaging and can really mess with, like, a kid's psyche, I feel like. Back to you guys. Okay, I'm now realizing that probably sounded really depressing. I do have friends now. Just want to point that out before I go. Okay, now I'm done.
She might be like, what are you talking about? What's the problem? This is just the way it is.
It might be. It might be.
That's okay,
And
McKenna.
we could be the strictest parents in the world,
We
too.
could be the most strictest parents in the world, which
Anyways.
somebody else thought they had that title, but I think we have that title.
Yeah.
So according to our children. So
Wow. I think if I was a kid going through school now, I think
it's so hard.
it would be, but I think my
hard.
parents, if I had the parents of today back then and knowing who I was back then, I would be highly medicated as a kid.
Well, that's a whole nother
I
episode,
think I would
dear.
be highly, highly medicated. I think I'd have ADHD, ADD, every single acronym out there, and be on so many drugs.
Well, that's a whole nother episode. So.
It may be, but I don't know. Anyways, let us know your comments, your thoughts. I mean, where do you live inside that world and that paradigm?
Yeah.
Are there any
Let
other
us
parents
know.
out there that agree with us, or are they going to give us a big thumbs down and we're just not right either?
Yeah, could be. Maybe we're the crazy ones.
We probably are the crazy ones. All right. Well, have a great night. Great day, everybody. And we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.